We are just 2 days into the patch, but the Samira reroll comp is seeming quite strong. And hey, I called this before the patch, and I've been playing it quite a bit, so let's get you guys up to date on some of the tech here. All right, here we have, and this is what the reroll comp will look like. These are the units we're rerolling. In this order of importance is Samira, Swain, Cassiopeia, and then Aurelia. Those are the order of importance. You will not always hit all of them, but if you can hit all of them at 3-star, that can be quite nice. Swain in some lobbies is quite difficult to hit 3-star because a lot of people like to play Swain for tempo on stage 2 and stage 3. But if you don't hit him, it's fine. I'm gonna teach you guys a couple outs and what the comp's gonna look like. So yeah, this is what we want to reroll. The legend that I use in order to play this is I use Caitlyn, because you can get an early 2-star Swain, which is insanity. And if you guys want to know more about how to play Caitlyn and more about specifically how to play Swain, I uploaded 2 guides on that today. One for Swain and one for the Caitlyn Legend, so you guys can check that out. I'll leave in the end card of today's video, so make sure and check that out if you'd like to learn more. But Swain is so insane on stage 2. He is the absolute GOAT of stage 2. So that's why I really like Stars Are Born, because it gives you a lot of free econ in the early game, and you don't even have to lost streak into a 1-cost reroll, which is typically how you want to play 1-cost rerolls, is you want to lost streak into it so you have as much econ as possible. But with Stars Are Born with Caitlyn, you can play tempo, and even if you win loss, it's fine, because the Stars Are Born econ injection is just absolutely insane. Make sure you watch that video to learn more. But yeah, just buying the Swain and then buying the Samira. So if you do take the Caitlyn Legend to do this, I prefer to buy Samira and Swain as my options. But if you need to buy Cassiopeia, that's fine. Cassiopeia 3 is strong as well, but I definitely prefer Samira. All right, let's talk about the itemizations. The itemizations is really flexible. So on Swain, you want to have hard tank items, and Sunfire Cape is particularly strong in this build. It is one of the best early game items in general, but it's particularly strong in this build because Cassio deals bonus damage if the unit is already healing reduced, so she doesn't have to do her 2 rounds of spell to get the bonus damage. So a early Sunfire Slam can give you a lot of tempo and can give you a lot of power. Other than that, tank items are what you want to build on Swain. You're going to want to build Spark, and if you look at the data, it'll tell you that Spark performs quite well. Spark is fine, but you really want a hard tank item plus a Sunfire is your best bet for Swain. That gives him so much power because Swain is so strong on stage 2 and stage 3. If he can cast twice, and if he casts three times, you are guaranteed to win the fight unless like something happened to your backline, something very tragic. So that's why we want one hard tank item plus Sunfire is going to be really good. And then Samira, her itemization is so flexible. So you want to have at least one hard AD item on her. What I mean by that is Infinity Edge or Deathblade. So you want to have one of those two. I'm not sure which one is stronger. I've had success with both. And then after that, her itemization is so flexible. So you're always hitting frontline, so I think Giant Slayer or Guard Breaker is quite good. I think Hodge is quite good because if you don't know, Samira's AP scaling scales her armor reduction, and she can make them go into negative armor. So you can actually build a Death Cap or a Jeweled Gauntlet on Samira as well. It's actually not bad. I think you should rather, if you have the option, go the AD route. But if you build AP, it's not bad at all. It is pretty solid. You don't want to go too far into the AP range, but if you need to build a Death Cap or a Jeweled Gauntlet and opposed to a Infinity Edge, that's fine, honestly. And then I do really like Giant Slayer or Guardbreaker because we hit frontline. And then blue buff is insane because Samira with a blue buff has 20 mana, 2-0. That means if she kills, she basically just insta-cast. She just auto once and cast again. It's insane. If you build Sojin is okay because it gives you some AP, which she scales very well with AP. So if you end up having to do that, it gives you some AP, and then she'll have to auto twice before each cast. That's not too bad, opposed to 3 without the item. 3 or 4 without the item, not really sure. But both of those are fine. But you can also go Rage Blade. You can go Runeans because whenever she does her cast, it does proc Runeans. Last Whisper is not that good. I would not build Last Whisper, but dude, you can build so many items on here. And then Cassiopeia, it's always going to be blue buff Jeweled Gauntlet +1 is our best bet. Giant Slayer, Guard Breaker, she's always hitting frontline. That's going to be your best bet to go. If you get Demon Flare, That can be quite good on Swain, whether you get that on your first augment or your second augment. That can be quite strong. And then maybe you want to put the Spark on the Swain if you're playing Demon Flare. Spark can be good, but I would rather just put it on my Aurelia because I want hard tank items on Swain. Again, this comp can tempo very hard on stage 2 and stage 3, especially once you have 3 stars. It is really strong because of how strong Swain is on this patch with the mana buff that he got and just the raw tank stats. So I really like going for raw tank stats onto Swain. Now let's talk about some of your outs here. So there are 2 versions of the build. The first version I'm going to show you is the horizontal version where you dip more into challengers and Ionias. And I think that I'm not certain which one is better. That's the one I've been playing, but I've seen other people have success with the Noxus version. Now, I think specifically if you only hit 3-star Samira, so let's say like you want to go for all of these 3 stars, but if you hit a really early 3-star Samira, you can just start tempoing. You can just start tempoing because ideally once we hit our 3-star Samira, we want to get to level 7 as quick as possible. Now, if you're really close to other 3 stars, go ahead and roll for them because other 3 stars are going to be strong in this build. But we want to get to level 7 as quick as possible after we hit our 3-star Samira, regardless of what out we're going to take, because that is how we are able to get 6 Noxus and 2 Challenger, or we're going to be able to get the 4 Challenger, 3 Ionia build. They all require level 7 unless you have emblems. So if you only have Samira 3 and you don't 3-star the other Noxus units, you definitely want to play the Ionia Challenger comp. If you do have multiple 3 stars, then look to play the Noxus one as well. I'm honestly not certain which one is stronger. I think maybe if you have all 3 stars, the Noxus one is probably stronger. But here is the horizontal version, and this is whenever you are playing more for the Ionia. This is the one that I preferred playing. And even if you hit the 3-star Noxuses, you can play this version as well. I've been playing this one. Sometimes you can hit 3-star Swain or 3-star set. If you're really close to Swain and you already have some sets and Warwicks, and you want to reroll for the Swain 3 before you go level 7, like you're in a really great spot, you feel like you don't need to go at fast 7 as quick as possible to tempo, and you want to roll a little bit on 6, if you're really close to the Swain 3, sometimes you can hit set 3, and you can have a set 3, a Swain 3, it's crazy. Alternatively, if you're close to the Swain 3 and you just want to spike and you hit a Yasuo, that sort of thing, just go to 7, you can still hit your Swain 3 on 7. You're probably not going to get the level 8 even when you play this comp, and the comp spikes on 7, so we want to roll on 7 after we hit our 3 stars. So this is what this can look like. Quite strong, as you can see our synergies here: 4 Challengers, 3 Ionia, 3 Noxus, 2 Juggernaut. It's quite strong here. Once you are into in-game, there are some spots that you can swap out. So if you don't have a set 3, you can play Shin here, and Shin is very strong. It'll give you Invoker. Invoker is very strong onto Samira because our mana cost is really low, especially if you don't end up going the blue buff route and you go Rage Blade or another raw damage item, then that will feel really nice. Invoker does feel really nice with Samira. So yeah, swap out the set for Shin if you don't 3-star the set, and then you can swap out Warwick for Kaisa or for Callista. I've played like Callista Senna. I've hit like an early Senna and I had some emblems and that sort of thing. I've played that. That can be quite nice as well. So this is the horizontal version. I really, really like playing this one. And then right here is the Noxus version. Pretty simple, right, guys? We just play the units we were already playing, and then we just add 3 Noxus units. And these are probably the ones you want to play. You can play Katarina if you want, I guess, but it's just cheaper to play this one, and then Darius is more tankier than Katarina. You just want to have a lot of frontline for your backline carries to carry. And if you don't have Aurelia 3, you just swap this out for Warwick. Pretty simple, guys. That's pretty much it with the guide. This comp is really easy to play. Itemization, super, super flexible on your backline units. Go for raw tank on Swain, but if you need to build a Spark or you get Demon Flare and you want to build a little bit more carry-esque with Spark and that sort of thing, that's fine as well, but I usually prefer to put the Spark on the other unit if you're going to build it. Anyways, that's pretty much it. Appreciate all of you. I love you all, and hey, man, I heckin' love TFT.